Here, I need to actually update this message right quick. Boop. We have a couple of things I got new yesterday, guys. I got 4 new items, which, when I say new, they're not new to Warframe. They're just new to me because I literally just got them and built them yesterday, which is going to be the Tatsu Prime under the weapons category and the Galatine Prime, which, by the way, I've always had the Grand Prime, even on my other account that ended up getting hacked, and I never reached out to DE Digital Extremes to see if I couldn't migrate the stuff over. Didn't really care about it. Decided to restart over and pretty much get everything again, which I got all that stuff basically free anyways through Relic, so it wasn't like I spent money for it, but I did on this account. But pretty much, guys, we ended up getting for Warframes Gauss Prime and Prote Prime, which I haven't crafted yet. I'll actually show you guys that here at the table right quick. So if we go to the weapons here, we are going to show you guys Garuda Prime. I don't have the parts for, but Gauss Prime I have everything for. The only thing I don't have is the Argon Crystals and the Nitane Extract. I wish there was a better way to farm Nitane Extract, because right now it's literally the best way of doing it is through the Nightwave, and I can't really do the Nightwave till basically Sunday or Monday morning. And the reason I'm saying that is because I'd have to look at the time again, and with my awake brain where I've actually slept, redo the math to make sure if it's either going to be Sunday morning or Monday morning is when the Nightwave resets for me to start doing challenges again. Now they do have dailies, but the dailies only give you 1,000, and where I'm at 8,000 out of 10,000 on one of my slot on the part, I literally would have to do like a good portion of dailies, which I think you only get like 2, and the rest are all weekly challenges. Sadly. But continue going through. As I said, we also have Prote Prime. So if I quickly go right here, you can see Prote Prime and all of her stuff. So here's the systems, the chassis, and the neuroptics, and her main blueprint. Again, the thing stopping me from starting to craft this is Nitane Extract and Argon Crystals. Because if I start the craft for the parts, I want to do them all at the same time, so that way I can rush them and then get them into this, and then I'll just wait on this for 24 hours. It's not that hard to do, because if I started the craft at like 1 p.m., it wouldn't be that long to reach 1 p.m. again, right? Um, the next day, actually, no, they're like 48 hours, actually. I would probably just rush every bit of it, right? But when I got these, it only costed me 50 plat for the frames, and then it was like, what was it? It was like 30 plat for the Galantine Prime, and then it was like 30 plat for the Tatsu Prime. So it didn't really cost me that much in my currency. And so when I got on this morning, I was like, you know what? I'm going to ask for the same prices I was basically being given yesterday for certain things, and ran into this dude who hasn't responded yet. But I was letting him know I was actually getting frames yesterday for literally just 50 plat each. And the main reason for that is he's asking for a certain thing, which was a mod. And sorry guys, but I'm not paying more for a mod than I would a Warframe, because a Warframe is a legit item that you could use to kill things with, or buff your friends with, or it's this thing in the background here that you see right here that my cursor's kind of going around, that is kind of moving. That's a Warframe. Okay, same as like weapons. So a mod only helps boost these items to do more damage or more energy, or something in some type of field. Since it's only a support or a boost to a Warframe, I'm not going to pay more than what I would for a Warframe. So if I'm paying 50 for frames, I cut it by half, and I said, okay, look, for the mod, I will pay 25 plat. Right? Because again, all the mod does is this. Let me show you guys. So if I quickly go here and we go to my Warframe, right, which is what it would be under, because I think it was like primed flow, I believe, that he had. I have another prime card here. So I got the continuity already. I just need the flow. So I was asking like, yo, 25 plat for the flow, right? So, with that being said, all a mod does, for instance, here, if I go to float, it gives me extra energy, like the max amount of energy my Warframe can have. And that's all that does. Okay, so why would I pay more for a primed mod that just gives me extra energy, right, max, than I would for a Warframe that has, a passive ability with 4 real abilities that can stun, kill, grant extra shit, let me like teleport, maybe even fly slash stuff like that, right? Why would I pay more for a mod than I would for something that actually has more to do with it? Second hand, um, like weapons here, which give you actually damage, right? Where you can actually hit something and it's an object, but you can actually hit something and kill it, compared to a mod that you're just placing to make said thing better, right? I wouldn't even pay more for a mod than I would a weapon again as well. Okay? Mods to me are like the lowest. Well, no. Relics would be the low. No. Yeah, mods would be the lowest end. Relics would be next. And then it would be the actual parts. Because if you think about it, a relic, no one spent their time. Maybe they got it on a mission, but when you get a relic, they haven't got the parts in it, and it's RNG based, right? And when I say RNG based, if I hover over a relic and click this right quick, these items here that you see are in a different category. It's like the first two, the next two, and then the last two are subdivided in category. Well, actually, it's the top 3. So you can see this red bar here, right? This is what is common. And then you have your silver bar here, which is for the Historics Prime Blueprint and the Looks for Prime Receiver here, right? This is your uncommon, all right? And then you get into your, I'm going to say rarity, which is this here, which is the Garuda Prime Systems for this relic, which means I could get anything in this relic for RNG base. So if someone was to sell me this relic, they did not crack it open, they did not get me the Orthos Prime handle here, they didn't, which means I could end up, when I use this relic going for the Orthos Prime handle, I get the looks for Prime, I could get the Forma the next time, I could get a Forma again, I get the Corvus Prime receiver, then I got the Hystrix Prime blueprint, and then I do another one again and get the Forma again. Oh god, I've done another Forma. Oh shit, I've done another Forma. So I'd have to buy a crap ton of the relics in order to try to shoot for this, right? So I wouldn't spend a lot of money on relics either. Okay? And it's kind of pointless to do these. You'll even hear higher end YouTubers will also tell you that play this game even more than I do. Don't really waste your stuff doing this. Just don't. Alright? Because it doesn't really up the thing by that much. Unless they updated it by now, it doesn't up it by much. You get like 0.3% chance, and I don't mean a 3.0, I mean 0.3% chance higher, which means the RNG doesn't really go up that much to get this. Even though you'll see it jump from here, well, we'll say where it is normal, which is here, you'll see there up to here, but it really ain't that much of a jump. It's literally, it's probably like only that much in reality when you try to do this, okay? Pointless. So, yeah, I wouldn't pay a lot for that. Because again, it's random to get said items, gear sets, or whatever inside of relics. So again, it would be mods, relics, then it would be weapons, and then warframes is the category ranking list there that I would do. So mods being the lowest and cheapest, then the next cheapest item is going to be your relics, Then I would say, actually, I missed the whole thing. Then I would say arcanes next, because this is what you attach to your Warframe to help get them better, but you need a lot of them to level them up in order to actually have the max version, which could be rare and far to come by. Yes, it takes time to get a lot of them, but there is I don't know if they removed it or not. I haven't been since the 1999 to go check. But there used to be a place where you can trade a certain thing in to get relic packs that you could open to get a chance at the relic you wanted. And all you had to do is spend time to build up these points in order to trade that in. Um, hmm. If that's the case, you don't really have to go do the other thing. You just spend time. But some people like to skip steps. So with that being said, it would probably be mods, relics, the thing we just covered. Then it would be weapons and frames. Right? So we'll start mods off at like 25 or less, right, on plat, depending on the mod card, because if it's not a prime, then it's probably going to be less. If it is a prime, it's probably 25. Then I would look at relics. What we're looking at now, these things would probably be something around 30 to about 45. No, we'll say 30 to about 40, and then we would start the next bit, which is arcanes, being around 40 to 45, because again, they are just something just helping. I'm not going to boost that price range higher by too much, and mods are going to do it a lot better and more efficiently than a relic anyways. That's why I gave the mods a little bit more of a boost. Um, Then I would have to say weapons would be something in the price range around 40 to 55. No, we'll say 40 to 60. And then I would say Warframes are somewhere between 60 to about 90 plat is what any of them should cost. But anyway, since I was getting frames yesterday for 50 plat, which by the way was kind of like I was ripping them off, but they were offering it only for that, would be about what I would pay in my plat, which plat costs real money, and if you guys don't know, yes, frames could be super high, especially when you're looking at like, oh, get these two frames, it's the primed frame pack to get. So like when we're looking under here, right, and we're looking at like these things down here, where for instance there is a prime thing like right here, you guys can see it says $79.99, bro. This right here says $138.88, which gives you all the prime weapons, gives you some like, boosters, and gives you that Warframe. Which, by the way, the $138 version of this, Warframe is now ripping players off. And the reason I'm saying ripping players off, because on top of the armor set, the Ceto Prime, which is a weapon, the 90-day affinity booster and resource booster, right? And the 3,990 platinum. Okay, which by the way gets you a good amount of freaking frames if we're talking about only 60 plat for each. But to be honest with you, where that Lavos Prime is, that actually used to be a dual pack. When I say that, like when Necros Prime used to come out of the vaults, right? Meaning like you can restart getting him again. They put him up here where you can just access him early, get it, and have him done. You don't have to worry about getting the relics or whatever. You could just buy him outright, and when you did, it was a Necros Prime and Hydroid Prime, right? Which are two Warframes. And now for the same price check, they removed the second Warframe, and they're only giving you one. So DE, that's the only thing I can really say, like, don't. $138, I better get all that and two frames, not one. Because the simple low, in reality, the simple low price is, when I say that, I could get for instance, any of those frames for the proper price, right? If I go quickly here to get platinum, I don't know if this pops up for you guys, but I could easily go buy this and get 2 Warframes. Two prime frames, okay? Which is just 20 bucks. 370 plat. Right? And then if I jump up to $40, which by the way should only be about 800 plat, which I get 1,000, which is great, so they give you extra. I could probably get 4 to 5 Warframes, all prime, by the way, off of this, with maybe even a couple prime weapons, because people actually trade them for a proper, legit price, and not the blown up, exaggerated price Warframe likes to try to sell them for, and what other players try to sell them for. Right? So not only did I make it where I get 2 prime frames, 2 prime weapons within 1,000 platinum yesterday, they're asking for that exact same thing, being like, what, fucking at least 50 bucks, and then the the rest of the 100 and something is like the resource boosters and all of that, which, by the way, guys, is only 200 plat. You could get a resource booster in $20, by the way. They're asking for absurd amounts of cash inside of the store right now. Do not get it. It's not worth. If you're going the Warframe route, don't buy the 2 Warframes outright in the PlayStation Store. If you're going to do it, if you're spending $100, go spend $100 on platinum straight, and then just go surfing the trade chat for everything that you were wanting, because more than likely you'll be able to get it, and for cheaper than what DE is trying to sell it to you for, like loads cheaper. But yeah, I figured I'd go ahead and cover that, guys. And I wasn't lying when I said I got them, because let me just kind of show you, because you guys go back in my last stream that I did on Warframe, and I did not have these items. I didn't. You could go on this stream and see that I do have them, and then where I'm able to craft them or already have them, and right here is the first one, which is the last weapon I read. But you guys can see I do, however, have this weapon, which is the Galantine Prime. 30 platinum. Okay? I could go down and show you the next one, which is right here. Tatsu Prime. 30 platinum. Right? Yeah. Alright. Now, let's go over the next thing. Okay? 4. When I done this, here's Gauss Prime. Here's all the parts for him. 50 platinum. Are we seeing something there? Because I bet you if we seen this pop up in the PlayStation Store version, they will be asking for $74. Basically, to have all of this already crafted, and him crafted for you, meaning like these are crafted, then they started to craft on this, and then when you bought it, you just bought him already built, right? $70 would be what they're asking for. When I got this for 50 plat, which, by the way, mind you, is underneath the option you can get for 75 plat, which I think is like $8. Okay? Again, same thing. If I scroll down, where did you go? Right here. Prote Prime. Okay, I got the blueprint, Neuroptics, chassis, and systems. Full thing. 50 plat. Again, for 2 frames, I've only spent, at this point, $14. If I was to go the plat route where I bought the platinum and done the frame. You know what they would ask for on PlayStation? If they done these 2 as a duet? $140. Like, DE, bro. They're not worth that. Even your players know it. But anyways, I am going to try to go for Garuda Prime and more than likely a rest of the Ash set I need, which is just going to be the blueprint for Ash, the systems, and chassis, which is the last three parts I need. Which actually, do I have any relics for Ash is the question. And the best way to check that is you just go to your thing over here, go to Universe underneath it, and then click on Relics and Arcanes. And then we can actually just type in Ash, like that. And no, I own no relics for that. But every one of these relics are the relics that will drop an Ash part. To which part, I don't know. But you are able to check it. Like, for instance, the Neo A10 here, if I click on it, you will see that it is the Ash Prime systems inside this one. Okay, so I could go check that. And I don't know if any of these relics have been unvaulted because of other stuff that they have unvaulted, which means I might be able to get said relic, but maybe not, because maybe they didn't unvault Ash at all at any point because of the fact of none of the weapons or other frames share the relic, which means I might not be able to get any of these, right? Till they unvault it. But figured I'd go over that aspect first. But pretty much, guys, I probably could get that Ash set, okay, for 60 or 70 plat, right, with 50. But I'm saying on the higher end, if a player's really just asking for more, I wouldn't mind going to 70 plat, okay, because again, it is a Warframe. I did say they could go up to about 90 plat, okay. That being said, I wouldn't mind paying 70 for an Ash set, right? Because I have it. I got 445. There we go. So yeah, it's all good. So yeah, it's oofed. Just figured I'd go ahead and show that, and I do need to fix my volume. As you guys can see, it is like this, but I need to go to how did I get the advanced options to show is this. Alright. We'll do that. Or this dialogue volume. No, you're going way down here. Oh, enemy dialogue volume will go like right there. Narrative dialogue volume, something like this. Confirm. I need to go back in right quick because we need to go back over here. And what I'm going to do is turn the volume down just a little bit so that way it's not like uber loud in my ears, right? So I don't have to feel like I'm screaming to you guys. Because my headset is on like basically a boost that I don't want to turn off in case I do go play a shooter that I have to go return back on. So we'll just turn the volumes down. But yeah, pretty much, guys, it is kind of oofed when it comes to certain things inside of Warframe, especially with players asking for too much on items and stuff like that. And DE doing it as well, because DE is probably the ones that started it, and players are just trying to follow it, thinking DE's correct, when, to be honest, they're wrong. Okay, because even 90% of the player base knows that, when you could get certain things DE would sell for absurd amounts of, like, real-life money, to being there. Actually, the best way to show you this is if I come in here, someone's trying to ask for 800 fucking plat, bro, for these. Sorry, no. No. Sorry, but no, not worth it. Because I guess that might have also been mod stuff. See, they're trying to, yeah, max card 500 plat. No, stop scamming. Stop scamming. Okay, I will say that because I don't care what anyone wants to think about Warframe. A mod is never going to be more than any actual Warframe that does more than that mod said will do, which is be a legit character. Okay, hold on. Give you a passive ability and 4 random abilities. When I say random, they're not random when you buy a frame. You can go look at what abilities they do. But when I say 4 random, any frame is not the same as the next one 90% of the time, which means they'll have different abilities. So, like, for instance, if I was to put a Wisp Prime here with a Korra would have different abilities, right? But again, 5 abilities this frame is giving me, alongside being a actual character I get in game. Okay? Yeah, no, a mod card does not do that. A mod card, all it does is just modifies said character, meaning to make them better, yes, but again, like right here, ability range, and 40 energy spent on abilities is converted to shields, right? But think of that, ability range, right? It only makes my character's ability go further. It's not like, oh, I could pull this card out and use it like a kunai. It can't kill shit. It just boosts. Okay, what's actually killing this shit is my framer weapon, which is the actual ability that's being used. All the card is doing is modifying the damage number or output, right? So no, that mod is not going to be more expensive than a Warframe. So if a Warframe is 60 to 80 plat, maybe 150, because some people will ask for that on like something like a Necros Prime, which I can agree with, because Necros Prime is vaulted, super rare to get, and stuff like that. 150 plat, 200 maybe even, some people ask for. No mod is going to literally be 1,000 plat. If a Necros Prime, which is the rarest and best frame you could get, because on top of that, he's a resource drop booster. You know, Desecrate. You get more credits. You get more stuff to craft with because of his ability. They drop more on death, which is what the resource booster does anyways. He's a free resource booster. Then go get your Nautilus, which by the way is a companion, or you can call them a pet if you want. Flies around. It's that little thing you see flying around my head when I walk around. Okay? The version of it I have is a resource drop chance booster. So now on top of being able to double the resources, guess what? Now I can double it again and have the drop chance. So that means when I kill something, there's a higher chance it actually drops something. So now I got a resource booster and a drop chance booster free of charge after crafting them and buying them, right? So again, 200 plat for that isn't too much to ask for on an Necros Prime, because again, not only is he the frame with abilities, but now you've literally become a resource drop booster, right? That you'll have for free 24/7, long as you can run the ability, you get your resource drop booster. So if you're telling me a mod card can be more expensive than that, is bullshit. Okay? Bullshit. So, scamming is a thing in Warframe. You will see people ask for mod cards to be more expensive than a frame that can actually resource drop chance boost. Not joking. Look, let me show you. So if I go to Nautilus Prime here, okay, and I go to, where is it? I think Square Parts. Yeah, Spare Parts, my bad. Companion marks a target every 15 seconds for 15 seconds that is 200% more likely to drop an item when killed. By the way, 200% means it should be dropping 24/7. There should be no like chance because it's 200%. 100% chance means it would be 100% of the time dropping. This is 200%, which means there should be no question. One in Warframe, but there is question. Don't know how Warframe tries to make that sound right. Okay? Because technically, if they're going to question it, it should only be 99.99 soon as the mod card is maxed. Because then there's still that 1.1% chance that nothing drops. Compared to 200% more likely, where 200% means it should just be completely likely, right? Don't know how they fucked the math on that, but let's kind of keep going here, right? So again, my Nautilus, there's the resource drop chance, meaning when I kill something that it has a higher chance at dropping, like actual loot, like credits, crafting components, all of that, right? To then, whoopsie daisy, if we quickly go here, okay, oh wait, I was wrong, not Terrify, it is Desecrate, this one, okay, this Warframe, again, Necros Prime, okay, Desecrate ability, okay, which right now costs 0 energy because I've modified him to use my health instead of energy, so I can run him 24/7 in the match, long as I'm picking up the health orbs. You'll see that in a second. But forces fallen, meaning the enemies you killed around you are forced to drop additional loot. Resource drop booster. Okay, so they drop additional loot. They drop more loot. Okay? Literally, my two things combined here is a resource drop chance and a resource drop booster. Okay? I have them both. That's why I don't buy them. I only get the other thing because if I need resources, I will run my Necros. Alright, which Necros isn't the only one if you don't have a Necros Prime. By the way, there is another one that you could kind of get in his place, okay, which is going to be Hydroid, okay, or Hydroid Prime. As I have the Prime version, I've leveled the regular and I've leveled the Prime. But the reason I'm saying this is because his tentacle ability can get this, which is going to be Pilfering Swarm, Tentacle Swarm, Augment. Enemies held by tentacles have 100% chance at additional drops, meaning they're always constantly dropping additional drops, long as they're the ones grabbed by my tentacle. Okay? But back to what I was telling you a second ago with the Necros, where you can see it says 0 energy. The reason for that is called Despo. It is this mod here. It is another augment mod, which Desecrate Augment no longer consumes energy, but consumes 10 health per corpse instead. I made sure I added some reach to this, so my ability range is larger. I got health and armor coming off for this guy because, well, he's squishy, and if I'm going to be using health anyways for stuff, I don't want to lose health by being hit, and the resource drop making me go down faster. So I made sure I built for health here. Same as like shield capacity redirection, so I can tank a little bit more before, you know, getting optimally hit for my health. Again, physique, even more. I get 20 more health, and this is squad gain, so I give other people extra health for me just running this, because squad gains plus 20% maximum health. Okay? And again, it is squad gains it, so everyone. I got faster sprint speed. And then the next thing is Arcane Blessing here, which is 24 max health, stacks up 50 times. So I can actually get my Necros into 2,000 max health. Okay? That way, I'm able to just run the ability forever. I don't have to worry about a prime flow. Don't have to worry about building it to make sure everything on the other aspect goes way slower per use. I actually just run it for the rest of my life inside a match, as long as I don't go down. If I go down, I have to reproc the ability when I respawn or someone resists me, but I can run it forever. So I have a constant booster, right? Hence, I'm at 5 million credits. Easy. Okay? Just figured I would show that. And I've actually only formed him twice, with him auto coming with formas, because I'd done this one to make it where any one of them would fit, for the fact of, well, I wanted extra health, and this is not the one that was originally here. And then I think I'd done this one, because I think these three were the ones that were already inside of here whenever I crafted him. So, yeah. Always be vigilant for people trying to scam you on Warframe, because they are definitely trying to do it. Alright? Just figured I'd get that out of the way before we do anything, and we are going to be leveling and stuff, because, however, I don't think I need to level this one that much anymore, because the main things I'm only going to go for is the arcane slot, and then maybe this, which I can go ahead and open this for that. I have the Exilus. So, with that being said, I can do that. And what's going to go there is this. Okay? Overdrive here. Because originally what's going to happen here is Tempo Royale, great for heavy blades. Okay? Which is its stance, which gives you extra mod capacity, by the way, if you do it correctly. Which is why you want it to be green. So you get a little extra for the mod capacity, by the way. Stances will do that for you. And then Dispatch Overdrive, which is on heavy attack hit, plus 10 movement speed. Guess what? It's a heavy blade. So every time I hit a heavy attack, I'm going to be able to move faster, right? While also having faster melee speed, slash damage, because this is a slash weapon, so I built it for the slash, hence again another slash mod here. Prime Fever Strike, because I'm building for viral to weaken my enemies, so that way I do more damage anyways. So 1680 viral, right, which is going to be for the Fever Strike and the North Wind here, which is cold. Then we're going for this right here, which is crit damage. So every time I hit a critical, I do more damage, okay? With Prime Pressure Point, which is 150% extra melee damage, by the way, guys. To then doing True Still, which is going to be 100% critical chance. So when I swing, that should actually always just be hitting a critical, because again, it's 100%, not 70, not 90, not 99. It is 100. Okay, which, by the way, I think Warframe still butchers that. Because you can see there, crit chance, 52%. No, that's 100, brother. So whatever that is, would be 100. Okay, up there. But, good job, Warframe, for literally not knowing math. But let's continue going over. Right? Northwind again, mixed with the Fever Strike. Built for that. This actually hits for 3,577 damage. Weakens them as well for 1,600. And you can see the damage goes up to 21,462 on a heavy attack. Okay? And then the slam attack is 7,140. Which, by the way, the slam attack should be a heavy attack. So these numbers should be the same. Because the slam attack is when you jump into the air, you look straight down, you press the melee button, and literally slam your sword into the ground. So a direct hit should still be this 21,000 with maybe a little extra for the AoE. Okay. But again, I don't have the arcanes I want. So sadly, we'll do like maybe Vortex, but that's basically it. Because you need 3 in order to rank it. But we'll go ahead and do A1, so that way this is pulling enemies in. If I do magnetic status, which, by the way, I don't have. Forgot about that. So maybe this. Now, the only reason I don't like this is because I think this is the card that messed up my Rhino. Because it goes about how much shield you have. So, every 10 puncture. You know what? We'll do that. Because again, this does have a little bit of puncture. It's literally like I get 5% extra or something like that, don't I? let's see, 0.6 times critical multiplier for every 10% puncture. So that'll just make my crits a little bit better. Because again, I will have a little extra puncture there for that. Alright, yeah, that looks really, really good. By the way, prime cards, unless you actually just are way too far and you played for way too long, don't do these because they cost way too much to upgrade them to the final tier. That's why I get them all the way to that last slot and then just stop. But now later on, whenever I build everything out, I have everything completely built. Maybe I have super extra capacity because I formatted every slot already or something, and then I'm like, all right, fuck it. I have like, we'll say 40 million credits and something like in the range of like 20 million Indo, which this is not Indo, but I'm just saying, like, for example. Then I'll be like, all right, let's go do this because that'll be a million Indo, a million credits, badoop, and I could do literally 40 of those mods and then just get them done, right? Boop. But yeah, one little tip to modding guys that are new coming to Warframe: look at this left side, okay? And you want to build for what this left side is showing. So if it shows more slash, build your weapon for slash. If it has more puncture, build your weapon for puncture. If it has more impact, build your weapon for impact. Do not try to do slash on an impact weapon. You're just nerfing your damage out the gate when you do that. You don't want to do it. Build for your weapon, melee damage, right? Build for its crit chance, build for when you hit a crit, and then after that, start looking at it and being like, what should I do? Because you want a good stance for it, okay? Then what you're going to do is Fury here, attack speed, right? You want it on heavy weapons, even your little weapons, use attack speed. I need a Prime Fury, right? But I get that at day 200 played. Melee Elementalist, okay? This is for my status damage because, why? My thing will have electricity and it will also have Fever Strike. So I get more status damage, right? Again, also have Focus Right on here, which is radiation, because this weapon already had radiation, I think. Heavy attack efficiency. Oh, wait. Did this already have radiation? I can't remember. Oh, no. It's because, wait a minute. It comes with fire automatically on it, because you can see there's no fire stuff here. It auto had fire on it, and then when I done the shocking touch, it done radiation, which technically I should have built for radiation, but I wanted corrosive to make my enemies weaker. But again, I could have looked through here and been like, all right, radiation is fire and electricity. So instead of using, oh, I use Prime Fever Strike because that's the most I have for damage output, because again, 150% toxin. But if I went through here and I found, I don't know, like a primed shocking touch, right? Which I don't think there is, but if I did, I'd probably slap that up here. Same as other stuff. Howdy, Faded. Alright, we're just waiting on him to actually say something. Yellow.
Hello.
Howdy, Faded. I'm going to end the stream here, guys.